Hey you guys, it's me Keisha and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade, Reginae and Toya Reginae, season 2, episode 3. So I didn't get a chance last week to do episode 2 review, but Toya thought it would be a genius idea to go and sign a lease on a new location for her and Red's Wait No More gym or whatever, but she didn't talk to him about it. So Red was furious, and we begin this week's episode with him being really quiet and everything when he's out on a hike with his clients and the other gym instructors or whatever, and they're his boys, so they like, what's going on? Because it's not like him to be this quiet. And so he tells them what happened, and his partners is like, we get it because she shouldn't have went behind your back and did that. But at the same time, it's really not a bad thing because Toya was saying how they needed the extra space and everything, and they'd already discussed having multiple locations. But Red says that they're not moving, and he hasn't talked to her in 3 days, and she should have spoken to him about this. Meanwhile, Danielle and Toya are together and they talk about it, and Danielle tells Toya that she was absolutely 100% wrong for not discussing it with Red first. And Toya keep on saying, but, well, and she was like, Toya, are you being selfish? Because if it was the other way around, you would have had a fit. And so it was then that she finally was like, you know what? I was wrong. I went too far. Yeah, I got to fix this. And Red doesn't seem like the type that gets like easily mad or easily angry. So she messed up for him to be this mad at her. Then we go to Beedy and Reginae. They link up to go to this like class to make like these little mats or whatever that can go in your house. They're really cute. And Reginae says that the reason why she didn't come to Walter's coming home party is because they're toxic. And she don't want to be around all of that. And Beedy was like, nah, Toya, the one that's toxic for that little speech that she made. And so Reginae was like, what speech? And she was like, your mama made a speech to Walter talking about out of everybody, he the one that really feels her, like gets her and everything. And Beedy was like, I feel like I always understand her and support her. And Reginae was like, nah, I feel like Walter and Casey gonna side with each other because they're brothers. And she says you'll be more on the boy's side than hers, and she be feeling by herself. And I get that because isn't Toya like the oldest out of them? Or maybe she's just the most responsible and level-headed one, but it's like she's their mama and their sister. So it's like she's good guy, bad guy. You know what I'm saying? She gets all the blame for everything because she got to be the stern one she just can't be their sister. You know what I'm saying? Because she had to raise them and everything. And I get Reginae saying that, my mama feel like she be on the outs a lot. And I get that and I see that as well. And so Beedy in her confessional was like, I feel like I side with my sister as well. That makes me feel unappreciated. And I can't say that her feelings are wrong, but I feel like with Toya's siblings, they always internalize things and make it about them instead of acknowledging how she may feel about certain things. And I feel like at this point, Toya does need to figure out a way to stop worrying about everybody. I get it, that's her family, but she needs to learn how to just worry about her own immediate family and figure out a way to just be their sister and not be mama anymore because they're grown at this point. There's no more that you can do. It's not like back in the day when y'all was in New Orleans and they were still kids and teenagers. These are grown people that know right and wrong at this point. And I know it's hard for her to let go, but it's time. It's been past time, for that. So Reginae then brings up how she's been seeing Beedy and Mel together on her little YouTube channel. And Beedy was like, I feel like everything that happened last season, with y'all getting into it with her and that big old thing and them breaking up, needed to happen because now they're in a way better place and things are so much better between them. And Reginae was like, look, I support you. As long as she, treating you right and love you, hey, we all grown. Can't nobody tell me who to be with, so I ain't gonna tell you who to be with. And I like that Reginae had that stance on things, because at the end of the day, I ain't gotta live your life. You the one gotta live it, But she also tells her that you need to tell my mama. You know what I'm saying? Especially since you living in her house. I feel like you need to tell her, what's going on. So, like on the last review that I did, I don't feel like it's necessary that she like gotta tell her. I mean, it ain't like you bringing a girl into her house. Now, that's another thing. Like if you bringing Mel over to her house and not letting her know, then yeah, that's one thing. But if she's just back dating her, that ain't got nothing to do with Toya, just because she living underneath her roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you just living under her roof and not helping with nothing, and I might feel some type of way then if I'm giving you a roof over your head and then you back dating the same girl that tried to fight my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, I probably feel some type of way. But if she's helping out, ain't bringing that girl to her house, the girl ain't calling the house, well, don't nobody got really landlines no more, no way, then I don't think it's an issue where she just gotta tell her. You know what I'm saying? But what would y'all do if y'all was in Toya's position? Do you think that Beedy has to tell her, or no? Toya talks to her daddy, and no, let me go back. I missed the part. So Toya tries to talk to Red, who's outside on the deck exercising, and he is not seeing it for her. He still don't want to talk to her. He is still mad at her. But she apologizes and says that, she was wrong for what she did and that she was able to get out of the lease. And so he softens up and they make up and they kiss and they hug and everything. And I was like, this is the way that you handle disagreements in a relationship, because he didn't yell at her, he didn't curse her out and all of these different things, and he just let her know that that wasn't okay, and I like that she righted her wrongs and everything. It was really nice to see how they came out of that situation. Then we see Toya talk to her daddy, who is still in New Orleans, and she tells him that she wants to have a sibling reunion because she still has not met all of her siblings from her father. I didn't realize that all of them had the same daddy neither. Okay, Nita. And the daddy was like, I would love that. I can't wait to see y'all and everything. And she was like, how many kids you got? That man opened his mouth and said 17 kids. Nita got 2, 4. So Nita had 6 by him. And then he got 11 more by somebody else or by other women. Good God Almighty, Jesus Christ. Ooh, child. Lord Jesus. Ooh, that's, ooh, God. And this is another thing, like they always bringing up Nita, and what Nita did wrong and how Nita was on drugs and in and out of the house and in jail and all these things. But they don't ever really blame the father. Where the hell was he? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they need to have counseling with that nigga too, and really deal with him not stepping up and being the father that he was supposed to be while their mama was out on drugs and all of this type of stuff. Because she might have been out using drugs, but you was out here impregnating everybody in New Orleans. Like, come on now. So Walter, Casey, and Red Link, they go-kart riding or whatever, and then they sit down and talk. And Casey says that, he went back to therapy and everything because he really missed his sister and all of this stuff. And Walter asks, is he being honest with the therapist? And he was like, yeah. He was like, well, because if you're beefing with everybody and everyone is saying the same thing, most likely what they're saying is true. And it seems like Walter is in a very better place mentally. You know what I'm saying? I think that him sitting down for 9 years really helped to change him because, he used to be just like Casey, feeling entitled and mad at the world and blaming everybody else and all of this type of stuff. Now, he did have a crash out moment here recently on social media. But at that time, he seemed like he was doing a lot better. And so Casey was like, no, that ain't true. He just do not want to accept that he be wrong. He was like, I feel like Toya owed me an apology. I was going through it on that float. And Red looked at him like, I know you lying. And he stepped in and was like, you got the nerve to say your sister owe you an apology. Now you calling her a bitch. You know how that shit made me feel? You know how many times your sister bailed you out? I'm the one that got to hold her at night where she be up crying. And to be completely honest, y'all not appreciative of shit. And I said, oh, you better read them. Here go Walter. Like, he ain't talking about me. And Red said, until you get a better mind frame and get off this shit, please don't go to her talking about you need an apology. And I said, you better read him down to the ground, Red. I was like, he don't play about her. That's how you handle family, honey. And Casey couldn't say nothing back. And he was like, you know what? I'm done for the night. Deuces. And he left. And Walter suggested Casey that he get Nay to help him mend things with Reginae, because obviously Red ain't doing it and he ain't doing it neither. Baby, I like the way Red got him together, because he needed that, because you have lost your mind. And this goes back to why everybody tells Casey that he's entitled. Like, how dare you ruin a moment for her and then think that she owe you something? Like, oh, what planet do you live on, sir? You don't get somewhere and sit down. So, but you know what? I was thinking as I was taking screenshots for my thumbnail, they all look just alike. They all look alike. Walter don't really look like them. He look more like Nita. But Beedy, Casey, Toya, Rudy when he was alive. I can't remember how Josh looked, but they all look just alike. They look just alike. Nita and Walter Singer made some really nice looking kids. So Toya talks to Nita finally after blocking her. I was like, you be blocking your mama? I be blocking my mama too, child. And Nita was like, you blocked me, girl. She was like, yeah, I did. And she was like, well, I missed you. She was like, I missed you too. And she was like, why was you acting like that at Walter's party? And Nita says that she didn't think that she would see Walter again, with his case and everything. So I guess being reunited with her son was overwhelming for her. And then she said she think about Josh and Rudy all the time, but how she really was thinking about them then, And Toya was like, well, when you going through something, talk to us instead of just acting weird and acting out. And I get that. But everybody don't know how to process their feelings. Obviously a woman like Nita don't, but it is better ways to handle yourself, than to be talking to people crazy or whatever. And I didn't really see where she was acting out. I saw where Toya was uncomfortable and triggered and scolding her mama, and Nita getting annoyed, like, I'm your mama, you not my mama, like, calm down. I didn't see where she was acting crazy or belligerent or anything. Maybe they took out some stuff. I don't know. But it's obvious that this is a behavior that triggers Toya, and it probably triggers things from when her mother was using that makes her then think, like, is she off the wagon? Like, what's going on? But they discussed the siblings reunion. And here go Nita talking something. Me and Walter might get back together. You and Walter need to get somewhere. Sit the hell down, okay? All right? Because if Nita end up pregnant, child, girl, because he got that super sperm, okay? So Casey and Reginae link up to go to like this improv class. It was really funny. They sit down and talk, and Reginae flat out tells her uncle, you're a lot and you're entitled. He was like, I hate that word entitled. I'm entitled to my family. I want to go to therapy with my sister. And Casey says that, no, before they even get there, he talking about he want to go to therapy with Toya and all of this type of stuff. And I'm like, you need to work on you first before you get to doing family therapy, child, because you got a couple of screws loose, okay? And you're still very childish. And then he says to Reginae that basically she don't respect him like she should because he's her uncle. And I'm like, how do you expect for her to respect you as an older figure or as her uncle when you act more childish than she does? Make it make sense, sir. That's why she don't respect you. And she was like, I got plenty of uncles that I would never play with. But she played with you like that because you're childish. You're immature. You don't know how to talk to people. So, of course, she don't have no respect for you because you ain't got no respect for yourself or anybody else. Period. So then he told me, I raised you when your mama was out going to the club and stuff. I was the one watching you. She was like, my mama ain't never go out like that. We not about to do that. She was like, you did not raise me. Like, let's be clear. And let's be clear, he did not raise her. He might have watched her a couple of times, but you ain't raised her. Boy, bye. So Reginae suggested him that he do a few more sessions one-on-one before he even try to go there with Toya. Then at the end of the episode, Walter visits Toya at her house and they discuss Casey and everything that happened with that whole situation. And then they talk about the sibling reunion. And he says, he's super excited to go to New Orleans and see his daughter, who he has not seen in 9 years. And Toya was just like, I know that's going to be a lot, and he's just looking forward to it and everything. And I'm looking forward to it for him. But unfortunately, on next week's episode, we're going to see that his probation officer going to deny it. And he is going to break down. Hopefully, they will fly the girl to see him, since he can't go there. But when they talk about the siblings reunion, and she was like, it's 17 of us. He was like 17, more like 26. That man is lying to you. I don't know why I like it when he be like, girl, that man lying to you. I like when he call her girl because, most time when men say girl, it's a gay connotation to it. But when he said, it's just like, girl, please. I like it. I like it when Walter say girl to Toya. And then at the end of the episode, he lets it slip that him, Nita, Beedy, and Mel went out to dinner. And she said, Mel? And he was like, yeah, Mel. He's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. And she was like, I'm shocked. I didn't know Mel and Beedy was back together. I'm shocked that y'all had a whole dinner together with Mel and I knew nothing about it. And he was like, oh, yeah. He was like, they back together. He was like, I like Mel. She seemed cool to me. And Toya was like, I'm just outdone. There ain't nobody told me nothing. Okay? And then the episode went off. So I guess on next week's episode, we're going to see how things pan out between Toya and Beedy and her confronting her about the male situation of it all. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's episode. This week's episode was good. I'm going to give this week's episode of Toya and Reginae a C. A C. It was decent. I really liked the part when Reginae went to go visit her best friend from the age of 10 who just had a baby. That little scene was too cute and too funny because Reginae ain't ready to be nobody mama child. And I love it for her. But I'm really enjoying this season thus far. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. And once again, let me know down below in the comment section, do you think that Beedy is wrong for not telling Toya that she's back with Mel, considering the fact that she's living in her house? Let's talk about it, you guys. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.